Yeah, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to our broadcast. This is RGL.GG, the Season 2 Traditional Sixes Upper Bracket First Round 100 Beasts versus Rat Jail. I am one of your two commentators tonight. My name is Eckstein. I am joined by Dolphin on production, and on the other mic, I got my friend Mustard Overlord. How you doing, Mustard?
I'm pretty good, other than the whole, coronavirus type stuff.
Yeah.
I live in Brooklyn. It's probably like one of the top 5 most infected places, so I'm just holed up inside watching TF2.
Excellent. Yeah. On that subject real quick, since we've touched it and then we can wash our hands of it, this event was supposed to be played on LAN, but, unfortunately not able to happen under the current circumstances. So we are here throwing down online that will pace things out a little bit in some ways, that also will keep things condensed in some other ways, as there is actually another match going on tonight. But thank you guys for joining us, because you are clearly here watching this video, not watching the other match. But we are hyped to get this bracket started. What do you think about this game that we have in front of us here, Mustard? 100 Beasts versus Rat Jail.
Well, on paper, the 2 versus 3 seed matchup would be considered closer than the 1-4, right? But I do think that this season, unlike normally where the largest gap would be between Froyo at number 1 and then everyone else, I think 100 Beasts really surprised a lot of people, and I think that they definitely seem to be the clear favorites. I mean, when you just look at the roster bottom to top, their DM is just on a bit of another level, particularly their scouts. I think the combination of Jay and Yite on scout it might be tough to handle, particularly on Process. So for those who don't know, the 3 maps are Process, Gully Wash, and Snakewater. Process is the pick of 100B, and I think that was the correct pick. It's the map they actually upset Froyo on, and they're just monsters on it. Gully Wash was the pick of Rat Jail, and these two teams played earlier on Gully Wash, and 100B won, but it was a 5-4. So I think they're banking that on a map that's a little more heavy class centric, little more of like a splash damage fest, that maybe they could get an advantage in a more open map like Process, like the DMers might just come through. So I think I'm probably going for a 2-0 for 100B, but I think if it's going to be a 2-1, it's most likely going to be Rat Gel winning on Gully Wash. I think Process is going to be really hard, and I expect to get commentators cursed for that very shortly, but
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Let's run down the rosters real quick. 100B real quick, as you pointed out, Jay and Yite on the scouts, Ash as their pocket soldier with Showstopper joining him in the soldier role. Bot mode going to be the demo man, and then 404 on the healing. Over for Rat Jail, it is Kev on the flank scout, Shamu as their pocket scout, Speedy coming in to play some pocket soldier, Alpha doing the roamer, Zaylor stepping in on demo man, which we'll double back to, and Mirror Man on medic.
Yeah, and I think that it's very important to highlight a couple of those specific roster changes on Rat Jail that happened recently. First of all, they formerly had Mirror Man playing Pocket and May on Medic, but May's gone. Mirror Man's switching over to Medic, and they picked up Speedy. And also, Alex.exe, their normal demo, was unable to make the match, so they have Zaylor, also known as Campy, subbing in. Incredibly good player, probably even have a higher pedigree than Alex, but also probably pretty rusty. He hasn't been their main player, so we might call that a wash, but I'm interested to see how the medic change factors in. I mean, Mirror Man is not a medic main. He seems to be like a very competent fill-in at medic, but I don't know if that'll do them any favors in a matchup that I'm already, favoring them to be a little bit weaker than the other team.
Yes, certainly. They have their work cut out for them, but I think these guys, happy to make it into the playoffs, happy to pull out things at the end of the season. It was a tough final match for them, but they got it done. And up against 100 Beasts here in this first round, yeah, certainly, these guys have been grinding hard. They got their eyes on the throne. Rat Jail, they want to just kind of hang in there. This first match of this playoff might be very tough for them indeed. We'll have to see once the process gets underway here. We have 12 players in the server, 11 joined up, so just need Jay to get in here. Maybe 1 or 2 other players AFK. Should get started pretty soon here.
Yeah, and just looking at these rosters, I think it'll be really interesting to see what the soldier aggression on this mid-fight on Process looks like. I was actually watching a bit of Habib's stream. He was pre-gaming Rat Jail, and Alpha and Speedy were trying some double fast rollout shenanigans, which can be very effective on this map. Habib actually dealt with it very well. He surfed out pretty easily. But, if if 100B isn't ready for that, it's possible that things could be hit a bit of a snag. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah, I think though this match is very favored towards players like Yite and Jay and Ash. Ash, we should touch on. I from what I found, I tried to look into it. He seemed like he was playing pocket, and I was a bit surprised by that because I would think of Ash as more of a roamer and Showstopper as more of a pocket, but maybe it's sort of they both take roughly around the same kind of heals, both in like the 16 to 18% range, sort of switching out so that they could tank bot mode more. And bot mode is just a monster on process on demo. I think it's probably his best map. So yeah, it's hard for me to conceive of RGL winning this map. I have to be honest.
Yeah. Just to touch on that Ash segment real quick. I do feel like the trend overall has been towards more, pockets playing like roamers, and you have like Yomps on Froyotech. So I think Ash kind of, reflects that trend. He does have kind of crazy styles, but you can just like slot him into that role and it's going to work out.
Another player that I want to specifically give praise to, and I don't want to appear like I'm giving too much to one team, but the last time I casted was in the Season 1 playoffs, and one player who I was surprised had such an enormous impact on the game that I casted was 404. I actually said that I thought he was the best player in the game I watched. I believe it was him versus Sandblast's team last season, but the amount of times that he milked Uber properly, that he stayed alive, that he just always seemed to be on point. And I think Mirman is a very good fill-in. I've seen him play medic. He's not just a completely hapless, guy who has mechanics but has no idea what he's doing. He's a very smart player too. But if 404 can play really well, it'll just be tough. And yeah, on the other side, let's see if Campy still has the juice, because he used to be on Ascent. He's a very, very strong demo man. So
yeah, certainly Campy. It's gonna be interesting to watch him play bot mode. Another player we haven't talked about too much right now, but his demo man play is certainly pretty awesome. I think that's a great point though about 404 versus Mirrorman. 404, up there with the legends of TF2 in terms of his medic skills. And you're right, having a player that can step into an invite level pugs, play some medic, that's great. Definitely, I think that there's some players, some of the greatest medics haven't necessarily spent a lot of time on other classes. But once you put somebody in kind of, I don't know, more the middle levels of TF2, you put someone in who's played a lot of another class and they do great on that role. But, this is invite TF2. This is the top level. This is playoffs. And I think that, having that exceptional medic in 404 will make a pretty good difference tonight. We'll have to see it play out.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to, in my head, paint, like I want to, you naturally want to give equal time to both teams, fairness doctrine and all that. You want to, like, try to explain how each team finds a path to victory. And I think for RGL, honestly, like, I think they play TF2 mostly correctly. Shamu is a very competent pocket scout. Their soldiers can aggress, at the right time. So I think they kind of have to hope that their scouts are a wash, because to me, like, I just picture, Yite hitting every meat shot, or Jay with that like 0.005 inch 360 or whatever, just bouncing around, being unhittable. So it's just, I just see these fights that are sort of equal, and then the scouts from 100B make the difference. But if they're having a bit of an off night, or players like Shamu really step up, it could be possible for the script to be flipped.
Now we are live here, ladies and gentlemen. Rollout's underway, and we'll see. We do get a nice little skip jump here from bot mode, getting out, I guess, about the same time as Sailor, though still. Showstopper and Speedy both taking containers. And it looks like Sailor and company trying to push through left. Flush sides at 404. The first one down to Alpha, but now Rattail's just getting completely stomped on. Alpha, the only player, he's going to retreat out, gets wall banged on his way out.
Well, I'm lucky that I didn't cut into that mid, because I was about to say something that would show my rust or possibly a caster's curse, because I was thinking that 100B was playing that mid a little bit too passively. They were giving too much space on the left, but then there was a beautiful double synced counterbomb from Ash and Showstopper that probably they each did about 1,000 damage in about 3 seconds. So that just, it shows the coordination of players who've been playing together for so long, like Showstopper and Ash, and that was just beautiful.
Yeah, well synced up on him. I mean, unfortunate to lose 404 at the start of that. Alpha is certainly another key player for RGL if they do want to find that condition of victory, as you were saying. They're off-classing as well as another potential. Right now we're seeing it on Speedy. He's running the sniper, also Kev running engineer to get set up here.
Yeah, and we see both teams on Uber. I was wondering if 4-4 would think about switching to crits, but I guess this early it didn't really come into their minds. I think we're just going to see the standard two-man sack probably with Showstopper and Yite, and then just backing up, hopefully not giving too many free sniper shots off to Speedy. As we see him switching back to Soldier and Shamu switching to Spy, I think he's just checking classes, but I'm expecting a two-man sack to come in here. As soon as they spam out the gun, they might try to get the gun first.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense to just cycle a couple players to try and get that Uber charge out from RGL. Then go for the advantageous push. Player jumping around here will discover the sentry gun. Sentry gun does get taken out though.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a debate about whether or not it's a good idea to have a gun when you're holding with even Ubers, because it makes it a lot harder for your medic to get forced, but it also makes it a lot harder for you to push out once they've sacked. So it's kind of two schools of thought on that. I think it's better in like time-sensitive situations than it is at the beginning of a match like this, but you know, just personal opinion is, hold on, Shamu's leaving the game and coming back, but seems to be all right. Maybe he just mashed retry or something.
Yeah, asked if they needed a pause, but basically Shamu is getting back in time, and it was in a downtime, so kind of nice for the players to just be able to progress without having to disrupt the flow here.
Absolutely.
100B are trying to get into lobby here, a dry push of sorts. Very tentative though.
Yeah, we just see the gun going down. I mean, 100B's in no rush. They could.
Yeah.
I think what they want to do. Oh, they do actually go for the sack. They actually went for a double soldier sack, which is a bit interesting. I mean, that can be very wild.
Yeah, I mean, Ash just got sniped down there from the side, so kind of a blend there of either sack or just completely stuffed by the sniper.
As Shamu actually sneaks in behind, he made it to IT. And a nice long-range pipe by Zaylor. That was pretty lucky that Shamu got out there, to be honest. And Kev goes for the counter sack off of that. They don't really get much for it, though. I think we're just going to reset. And it can be really hard to push out of this last, even with the two picks, because the chokes are all very visible. A demo man can easily lock down two of them, and then if you have any soldiers, they can watch the other. Usually teams will just like fake a push and maybe go for sacks or maybe try to get a deep trade in, but for them, they just got Shamu behind. And I'm curious to see if Shamu will be on Pocket Scout, because in all honesty, I actually looked back and forth in their logs, and it seems like RGL themselves aren't really sure what to do. They've been switching off between Kev and Shamu. Shamu was the most recent one, and I think that tends to make more sense. I always think of him as a Pocket Scout, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, that's how it goes with some teams. Some teams are pretty flexible on it.
As we see, Jay is on Sniper. He's a very, very good sniper. He didn't get to show it off much on Ascent because they had Slemnich on their team, who, you know, is a monster, but Jay's really good as well. So we'll see if he can make anything happen. Again, no rush for 100B.
Yeah, gets a little bit of a shot on Speedy. Jay, must have gotten a headshot there and then just tagged by the sentry because he goes down kind of instantly as he rounds the corner there.
Yeah, it's sort of a mixed bag. These teams really don't want to take too much of a risk, as we see the door being open for Speedy on Sniper, and Campy almost going down to that.
Yeah, so it's definitely slow here. RGL's pretty comfortable though. They're a very disciplined team. You know, we've seen them throughout the season be stuck on last and just kind of hold it for a long time and then be able to work their way out and forward here. And certainly this is going to give them some confidence in this game as they've just kind of dragged this first round out. It's never much fun when you lose the first round like a minute 30, but even if you can slow things down and you still get the loss off that kind of mid-fight swing into some, you know, eventual push, you still feel a lot more confident if you've been able to drag it out.
Yeah, and a lot of this is also coming from 100P, making sure that they don't take lobby until ever. Oh, actually, that's really unfortunate that bot mode goes down to spam, so it looks like Campy does still have it. I don't know why Shamu is just running in like that ahead of the rest of his team, though. I mean, that makes it a lot harder to push off the demo pick. I do think they're still going to go, though.
Yeah, he was super forward. He thought maybe 404 was closer on stairs there and that he'd just jump in. Not able to do so. Speedy has gone down here, so push probably needs to get put into reverse, but Alpha going to get pistoled down by Yite. This is one of those classic back and forth situations where the push out doesn't work. You bleed a little bit too many players. They're not going to be back for 10 seconds. Supercharge push. Demoman invulnerable on the point here. Jay and Yite trying to get on top of him here. Still not able to take damage. Demoman has only a few stickies on the point. Mirror Man has gone down. Just Showstopper down. The rest of the players, the scouts on the point, get the capture there.
And that was really smart by Showstopper, using the numbers advantage to just sneak in through one while the rest of the team was pushing lobby and forcing Mirror Man early. But yeah, I really don't like that disjointed play from RGL. I mean, you have a demo pick. That should be like a free combo brute forcing their way through a choke with heals, you know, off of the no demo spam. And instead, they go in one by one, they feed, and just not good play, I gotta be honest, next time.
Yeah, especially losing Shamu there, that makes you real nervous about the push out. And then it just kind of faltered further after that. Shamu going down coincidentally at the same time I was talking about that. Speedy going for the jump over the top, does get right on top of 4 and the kill. So they've lost, well, 3 players now, but getting the kill on the medic, so they're going to back up. And now they're holding Spire with an Ubercharge advantage, 85% Mirror Man back on Shutter here.
And I have mixed feelings about that mid X time because it really seems like you could argue that RGL was over-prioritizing the med pick. I mean, basically both their soldiers double bombed the same medic. Only one of them was actually needed, although they didn't necessarily know that ahead of time. They will be able to push back into mid with Uber. Let's see if they can actually hold this or if they get forced really early in the choke, because it'll kind of all be for naught if this ends up being a leapfrog.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. They do get the pick on Showstopper to start things off. Ash flying around, but he's gotten pretty weak. Somehow survives from cratering as he lands in choke there. Very low. 4-4 hasn't had time to hit him with an arrow yet. Jump over the top here from Alpha, trying to get a rocket over onto 4-4-4. But juggle! Speedy gets the kill on him. So again, both soldiers coming in for the medic pick, but this time they have an Uber charge to back it up. Shamu Uber gets the kill on bot mode. Yite still here over on IT side on the ground. RGL sort of actually seem sort of further back than they really need to be considering the circumstances. They have both scouts up and their demo man. Showstopper jumping into him, but now Mirror Man completely cut off here. He's gonna go down to Jay. Yite cleaning up as well.
I understood why they backed up actually that far, given that they were down fragging classes but had the heals. The problem is they did it in a very disjointed way. And I think you're seeing Campy, you know, naturally more of a more passive, like not as heal-focused demo man compared to the way Alex.exe plays. He just was not in that Uber at all, which maybe they could have gotten more than just the medic with it. And then he wasn't with the medic to help protect him and lock off those sewer doors, and the scouts just ran right in. So I think the problem was that they really split up there. And I think you're seeing the problems with a couple roster changes, although I have been impressed with Mirror Man so far. He did do a good job milking that Uber for a while. As you see bot mode bombing in. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no worries. She called the action at hand as Mirror Man getting pressured out. Yeah, I guess really that was my point as well. It's like, you can't just stand and fight, but they need to do it together, you know, like backing up how they did and just kind of getting all splintered. And now they're getting rolled all the way back. 20% Ubercharge disad. They're trying to come in right through here. They will get the heals on bot mode. Players on the point. They're pushing through upper. Mirror Man taken out. And Alpha is still up fighting. Players coming in though. Showstopper. Bot mode getting frags all over the place here. Quick 2-0 in the first 9 minutes from the 100 Beasts.
Yeah, you know, X-Time, sometimes when I play Medic and Pugs and I get frustrated at like the way players play at Pugs, I'll say something like, I feel like I have more heals to give than you guys are taking. And I feel like that's what Mirror Man's thinking, you know? I felt like he had a lot more heals to give than the number of players playing with him. You know, both soldiers are bombing and aggro. His demo's passive. He basically is just alone with a single scout. And I just feel like they need to play as more of a blob and actually disrespect 100B a little bit more with aggression. Just because, you know, they have bigger names doesn't mean you should treat them like they're just gods. As you see, I'm watching Ash bombing on this mid fight. He's going straight on the medic. Really beautiful bomb by Ash, and I think 100B is going to win this with that. Yeah, they just really good work by 404 surfing up top, it looks like, and just very, very good. Ooh, Speedy with another air shot. That's actually 2 in a row. Beautiful play.
Wow, but, yeah, that was pretty nutty by Speedy, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely salvages the round, but I was impressed by that mid by 100B because they managed to have their soldiers get really clean bombs off while still keeping their medic in a position where he wouldn't be vulnerable to the other team. They just sort of out-rotated them, and it was just really well done, and it shows, you know, the level of coordination is. Actually, Mirror Man is on crits here.
Okay. That's a good switch up.
I like the switch up. It is very hard to crits in from second to mid, though. I would have liked this better if they won mid, but they have the element of surprise on their hand, right? So that's what they, because most teams wouldn't expect the defensive crits here, so it really gets on to Campy and whether he can hit that first sticky when they're really not expecting it.
Yeah, it is pretty juicy for sure. I mean, if they get it fast and they're like, okay, let's go through IT, that's pretty closed off, and you can get ambushed. But again, you know, you do have some decent angles. But if you could just come in right from choke and get a big sticky lobbed in over point, that's what they're going to go for here. They have activated. The sticky comes in, not able to get all the way over to Rock. And Alf getting completely stuffed and destroyed. 404. Oh, picks him out, and then Mirror Man now getting the one destroyed midair. Oh, the Beast handled that like it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Campy, considering he has 65 ping, played that about as well as he could. He did hit the long-range charge shot onto onto 404, but I feel like Shamu went a little bit too far ahead, died to that trap. I mean, it's a little tough. He's trying to make space for the crits, and then their medic just didn't have enough people to protect them. It was basically just Campy and the medic. Campy's not trying to protect his medic. He's trying to snipe long-range stickies, and so his whole team just dies around him. Maybe they should have had, a soldier there ready to take, like, the rest of the crits, But, again, just... It feels like the only people who went in with the crits were the people getting crits, and, with the crits, you want a couple more people around you for protection.
Yeah, exactly.
And... They are doing a good job of killing 404, but it feels like kind of a Pyrrhic victory, They're kind of getting pushed back to last anyways.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all about the round captures here. First to 5, we will have halftime at 3. Or 30 minutes, but it doesn't look like we're going to hit 30 minutes. We'll see.
Yeah, it seems unlikely, doesn't it? And I feel like 100B is just putting themselves in a better position to have like a lot of high health players to clean up the ends of these fights. Like, yeah, they're losing 404, but they just have like both scouts there with pretty much full health ready to clean up, whereas it feels like only like the medic and demo or whatever are going down for 100B in these fights.
Yeah, right now in a bit of an standoff here. Shamu is just checking off classes on Spy a little bit earlier here. They have a nice sentry posted up. Kev does decide to move it here to the base of point. Hopefully gets it up fully, but the bomb has come in here. And they have to use, kind of ruins the point of the sentry gun if you have to move when the bomb comes in. They get the kill on Ash as well. Pressure from Shamu trying to get the kill on the demo man. Not quite able to, so he gets cleaned up.
Yeah, and again, I don't understand that single person sack when your medic actually gets forced. Like, at least get a little closer with your combo and like spam them a little bit. I don't know.
I feel like I've ran it. Well, I don't know. We have time to maybe at halftime. The overcharge coming in here, and Sentry Gun taken out. And looks like the Beast have gone in here pretty cleanly. Bot mode healed up. Showstopper up towards Heaven, and bomb from Ash coming in here. A lot of damage on Campy. He does get some decent damage out, including a pipe on Ash, but that's going to be at halftime. 3-0.
Oof.
Yeah, what I was going to say about that Shamu situation is, I don't know, I've kind of ran into it sometimes, and sometimes I get like kind of frustrated about it because I'm a caster. I've seen a lot of TF2. I've watched a lot of TF2. I know how it works. But, I get sort of frustrated in pogs or scrims or ringing or whatever when teams get so like hung up on these things that they think that they're just supposed to do. And I wonder if that was one of those situations where you're like, oh, they lost 2 players. It's my time to sack. I'm going to sack. And it's just like, well, you just ran in by yourself, like completely away from your team. And like, this is invite TF2. Like, people are really good. Like, you're not really going to hit those shots. You just died, so I don't know.
I definitely noticed Shamu getting a little too aggressive in some of those situations, but I also feel like their combo is playing a little too passive. And I feel like, for example, when they got forced while they were moving that gun, you would think that, they would have their spam classes being a little closer in order to cover for that time. But looking at the stats right now, what's jumping out to me, Zaylor is top damaging, but after that, it's a wall of 100B. And also the deaths are just so much lower. Yite, the flank scout is at 1 death. That just means this guy is like running in untouched, shooting people in the sides, right? And he only he's taken the least damage in the game next to 404, only 100 damage per minute taken. And 404 has 6 deaths, only 1 fewer than Mirrorman. But it feels like, they're sacking both soldiers to bomb Mirrorman, but they're not weakening any of the fragging classes on 100B enough to like win these fights. Like, you're seeing these fights where like, both medics are going down. A couple players from 100B are going down, but they're always winning like 3 players up to 0. It's never even like a 1-0, like barely winning, because it just feels like the focus fire and coordination of RGL is either really off or it's only like medic stacks. They're not they're not calling like, oh, that scout's lit, let's focus him. That soldier's lit, let's focus him. And I hate to keep beating this drum, but they are a team that's had a lot of roster moves, and they do seem a little desynced.
Yeah, and a weird stat that comes up from time to time that I like to point out, and I think it has odd implications. Sometimes it has implications when you're winning, sometimes when it's losing. And that's the fact that Zaylor is both top DPM and top damage taken. You combine that with like the kill factor, and you're just like, oh man, dude, So Zaylor, you certainly can't point any fingers at him. He's out there, he's throwing it down, he's staying alive, he's, trying to contribute. But there's some other players that, they need to find out how, as a team, how to focus frags and make it work.
Yeah, you imagine both of those things, the damage done and damage taken, are coming from, a lot of last stands where his team has fed a couple
Yeah.
players and he's trying to do everything he can.
Yeah, he's just retreating and taking some heals, you know.
Yeah,
And, we are underway here. Second half has gotten started. Bot mode first out, 3-0 up for the 100 piece.
and both teams are just sort of posturing. They're just sort of looking at each other. The first aggression, we'll have to see if the first soldier bombs can really make an impact.
Yeah.
I like these sort of fake bombs by 100B, making space, and meanwhile Alpha just goes a little too deep, gets picked off instantly. Really good job by 100B faking out that aggression, but they are pretty weak. They have to re-heal, but again, it just, they seem so coordinated, whereas the soldiers seem to be going in one by one for RGL.
Yeah, and those are the 2 deaths for RGL, Alpha, and Speedy. Mirror Man a little bit banged up, so he keeps backing up. Zayler pretty banged up as well. He needs an arrow heal. Bomb in from Showstopper. He's died. Ash also in there. He gets out on IT side. The Ubercharge is pushed out here. Alpha high up in the air, coming back down. Trying to get pressure on 404, but he is comfy. He is going to be able to milk that out, and they might push through IT here. Both scouts in. Going to be able to get the kill on Kev, pushing through. We see that it's nice and open. Oh, actually, they have popped here. Jay trying to get forward. Will find Speedy. Just trying to get this game done.
This is just a bit of a slaughter, and you can even sense a bit of the frustration from RGL. They're like, why aren't these guys, expletive dying? They're just going in one by one, really angry that no one on the other team is dying. And yeah, it's just, like, I was talking about how I figured 100B might have the DM edge, but it feels like I just don't like the idea of how RGL is playing these situations. Like, it feels like they're going into it, they're just standing there kind of hesitating, unsure of what to do, and finally one of their soldiers is like, screw it, I have to do something. They bomb in without support, they just die when they're down players. They're not moving in together as a unit. And meanwhile, 100B looks like such a well-oiled machine in comparison.
Yeah, you certainly feel that. Kev takes a bit of damage. He's got to soak some heals here. But right now, Ash coming in again for that big bomb. This time a little bit more direct. Showstopper's there as well. They've killed Mirror Man. Yike coming in from the side. Ash survives that bomb attempt. Jay in here, so Ash coming in from behind. He's going to get some clear up. 404 survives with 2 players. Another solid mid-fight from the Beasts.
Yeah, that was just an awesome bomb by Ash. He delayed just long enough to give his team time to get into mid healthy, but then he did a wall bomb. They sort of strafed all the way around the map, came in from an odd angle, landed straight on Mirror Man, and kited into IT so he didn't die, and then Showstopper bombed to follow up. It just, these soldiers from 100B, man, Ash and Showstopper, just seem to really have perfect chemistry with each other in comparison to the other team.
Right now, 100 Beasts 4-0, looking to close out this first map in some style here. It's been a quick one, not all that much gameplay.
Yeah, and I mean, if this is a preview for a team that'll challenge Froyo in the finals, I guess we have to be a little happy about that. But I do want to see a bit more resistance from RGL as we see this Uber coming in the last. Bombo's doing a good job blocking off the point, but their team is losing the first players. I think this might just barely be a hold for RGL. Yeah, the heavy is good enough health, and they are going to be able to hold this, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Showstopper doing some good work on the heavy weapons guy. Campy though, aka Zayler, is going to be able to get the kill on him, no problem. Alpha pushing out to take the point.
Yeah, and we do see RGL with an Uber advantage. Mirror Man at 95%, but he gets separated from his team. He's at 98, 99. He barely gets it. Let's hope he can hold on to the Uber and not drop it, and maybe make something happen. Maybe get some momentum back on their team. It feels a little dire right now.
Ash kind of jumping in and out, hits a nice little casual rocket on Shamu. But yeah, RGL do want to get in here. Big sticky. Oh, he gets 3!
Jesus.
I was just talking about that trap on the ramp, but somehow clears out 3 players there.
And the air shots of 4th and taunts, well deserved, my friend. Normally I wouldn't do that in a match, but there's literally no one who can punish him for it. So
yeah. Bot mode, huge play there, and players still kind of just casually talking about how much destruction that was.
He is really good at this map, Bot mode. It's definitely his best map in my opinion.
And Ubercharge coming in here is very aggressive. Bot mode flying through, does get campy. Pipes are out. He's looking for Mirror Man up top. Bot mode gets one more frag there. Still flying around. We're getting frags as well. It is a wipe. Now they're going to capture the point. It is a party. Everybody up for red team. A very conclusive, symbolic way to end that map. 5-0. Destruction.
And obviously, I'm already looking at the stats, and bot mode was definitely the MVP of that second half. 470 BPM, twice as many kills as most players on that half 9-2. Although most of that happened at the very end there. But I'm also noticing that Jay and 404, the main combo from 100 Bean, did not die at all in that second half. And yeah, it's just...
Oh, man.
Process was just... I mean, let's be honest, that was a complete destruction. I did say I thought that would be the much harder map, but... So, this was 5-4 earlier. Like, when the two teams played on Gully Wash earlier this season, it was 5-4 to 100B. And you would hope, maybe RGL is thinking, we put in more practice time, we can maybe finally reverse that. We were so close already, but it's hard to see them getting to that close. Like, you'd have to predict, like, a 5-1, 5-2... maybe a 5-3, but like still going to 100B because RGL looks worse than they normally do with all these roster issues, and it's a shame, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's a long season, and that is something that plays into it overall. At the end of the day, you have to get results, and the results do kind of factor into such things as like players' mental health, players' physical health, which players can actually show up. Players, let's phrase it as a technical health, as in is their computer up and running, as was the problem today with Alex.exe. And certainly, there's always that balance of, sometimes those things are taken out of your control. But at the end of the day, as a team and as a unit overall, a philosophy, a sporting philosophy I was taught, is like you have to take ownership over that stuff, Could Alex.exe have updated his computer earlier? Could he have sprayed it out, with compressed air over the weekend? I don't know. I don't know what kind of crash it was, but also, could they have a backup that was like a little bit more tighter in their team? There's certainly questions that at the end of the day, it's just a long season, and you got to show up at the final day of the match, and you got to get the wins when it counts on playoffs.
Yeah, and it's just tough. I mean, we're a small community X-Time. We're a game with no money in it, and I think one trend you notice with a non-professional game like this, like you'd think teams would be really good at ramping up their practice time so that they're like peaking in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but so often it's the opposite. Players are like burnt out by playoffs. Some people who are kind of dissatisfied with the way their team is going are already planning their team next season. They might already even be scrimming with them. And it's a shame because, the very best teams, the teams like Froyo that know they're going to be going every season, teams like 100B that have these players have played together in some form or another for years on end, they're going to be the same every day. They're going to be consistent. Yeah. But a team like RGL, and I'm not necessarily blaming them. I mean, the incentives just aren't always there, but it can be very difficult for them to get to playoffs and just be in the best form of their life. They might have been frustrated with their roster changes. They might have lost some trust in one another when they've gone through all this stuff. It's tough.
Or they might have been, self-isolating for a week and a half and just a little depressed and sad inside. I mean, definitely one factor of this, and I think that aspect of focus and mentality that, I've seen it go both ways at LANs, right? Where some teams, they get together at LAN and they, play better than ever. Some teams, they get together at LAN and when things get a little bit rough, they're not actually able to rally because I remember some key phrases I will not repeat on air that were shouted at close range. And I joked at the beginning of that LAN, Cadis was coaching 7 and I was like, oh, maybe I could be the coach for Froyo, haha. And I don't know a ton about TF2, but I know a bit about psychology and keeping people happy and keeping people working. And it fell apart, and I definitely leaned over to somebody and was like, yeah, maybe they should have let me coach. And I obviously didn't have any sort of real conversations about it, but you got to keep your head in the game. You got to stay focused. It's super important. Another quick note as rollout's about to go, the fact that we lost LAN, I mean, that does make a difference in how some of these teams might have practiced for it.
Yeah, and you might not know enough to teach Froyo how to play the game, but you definitely know enough to take this mid fight next time, so take it away.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right now, bot mode did get into the deck. Decent time. He gets an air sticky on Alpha. Alpha's still pretty decent heals. Gets shoved around. Speedy, the first casualty, though, cleaned up on the ground. So RGL backed up into choke. They already don't like the taste of it. They are out. Alpha down. And with 2 players, well, I guess they have lost Showstopper. That just happened. But the Beast were looking to keep the pressure up. They might rotate in a choke, but they're still looking to do so. As Ash, yeah, go ahead.
I do like that RGL is still trying to hold this. Yeah, this is really good by Campy, you know, not giving it up despite the fact that they were down one player. I mean, you still have that huge defender's advantage when they try to run through choke, and it was even Ubers. I really like that play. Excellent DM by Campy and Shamu. And a bit overzealous by 100B. I think they want to get out of here, get into their warm bath, their PB.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Yite got like tossed up in the air, and he did end up on top of the Mirror Man, but that is, you know, the key difference in some of these fights. These players are all skilled. Oh, there goes Shamu. It's that cohesion that we're talking about, and Speedy gets dropped as well. 3 players going down in the midst of the Uber charge for Rat Jail. Oh, can he hit it? No, it does not quite hit the air shot, but still good pressure on Mirror Man from Showstopper.
And then I think 100K made the same mistake. I mean, they just got bullied in that choke. I mean, they did have an Uber to trade, but they dropped people before the Uber trying to bully their way in, and now we're in a 100B situation, and as there's a bit of trash talk going on.
Yeah. Showstopper saying he's better than me, so I guess he appreciated that surf as well.
As Kev is hiding on mid, I just noticed this. It's hard to get in without giving yourself away to someone. It's very choky. He might walk onto the point. Let's see if he can actually make something happen, though. Actually, he is. Yeah, he's already on the other team's side, so maybe they could do some aggressive choke peeking. Maybe make everyone look at choke, and then Kev could just run in through the elbow.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to get a sight on things yet. Definitely just staying peaked so he doesn't expose himself and just get cleaned up. And it looks like 404 will go over to Big Door, so there is the thing of he just waits too long, maybe misses his opportunity here.
Although it is easier to pick the medic if he runs across underneath the point if he knows about it, but it seems like he didn't know. No one's seen him yet.
I don't know, Jay seems to have sniffed him out a bit here. And Yite has gone down here. And they do see the players there. Kev is able to reconnect with the team, so at the end of the day, well, Alpha going down there on the flank. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so we're just in a bit of a stalemate situation here, although maybe it's good for RGL to have a chance to regain their breath after everything that's been going wrong for them. They do have a 1-player advantage. I don't know if they're going to try to use it or take a trade. It looks like Shamu is considering it, but he decides against. And yeah, I was going to say, we didn't really, as Alpha actually comes up on Spy, I was going to say earlier, since we didn't really get a chance to talk right before the game started, that it's really on the soldiers, I think, to have really good mid-fights for RGL, because, you know, as you so often see in games like this, the game starts close, one team starts getting owned later points in the map, and then by the end they're so demoralized that they're getting destroyed on mid, even when the mids used to be close. And that's what happened on Process, so you would like to see RGL regain a little bit of momentum by having their soldiers make big plays on mid.
Right. Yeah, we'll see what they can get done here.
As Alpha gets bot mode, that's a big pick. As we also have Yite on Sniper. If RGL can find a way in where they can actually pressure that Sniper and not like immediately have to use Uber earlier and neglect and get kind of turned around after that demo pick.
And fights over on Big Door side. Shamu will get the kill on Showstopper. He's kind of low health. Mirror Man is over there. Yeah, sort of seem maybe thinking about pushing through there. They still, you know, obviously should be aware of Yite on Sniper. So they've rotated over to choke side. Again, shots ringing out though, and Showstopper will respawn here.
I feel like RGL's instinct is always to lead with like their roamer or a scout running it instead of their combo just taking a trade. And I feel like they really should be, their combo should be a little more aggressive leading some of these fights to make room for people, I think. Like, just take an Uber trade when you have numbers, and then use the Uber trade right afterwards, push everyone in, and try to you know, pincer them. But instead, they're just like going for these counter sacks, even when they have a big enough advantage to push, like with the demo down. As I believe X-Time is lagging a little bit, so I guess I'll take over for a second. As we see Showstopper actually going all the way behind, going through basement. Sorry. I think you're back, X-Time, but I don't know if you noticed this. Showstopper has gone all the way behind into River via basement to last. This is interesting.
Yeah, no,
are you good,
I'm with you. Just watching the game develop here. And Yite has going for the shot now, pulling in close. He's gonna get taken out though. Showstopper, yeah, still back there, still being obnoxious. Kev might put, no, okay. He was gonna maybe put a little bit of pressure. It's actually gonna come from Shamu on the other side, thinking about getting through door. But again, he's playing super aggressive, not necessarily seems like on the same page as his team.
They have a 2-man pick here, though, so they should definitely be able to do something with this. I think they're sending a player drop down to make room for them. I do like this, but they're taking a little long. Those players respawn very quickly on Gully Watch. It has some of the fastest respawns in the game, and yeah, they just took a little too long. I like the idea of sending a soldier drop down to try to make space for the rest of their team. They just waited too long, though. They were so scared of Showstopper behind, but their flank was totally dealing with it. I think their combo just needed to move faster.
Yeah. And I think that was the thing that I was saying. It was like what happened before that was like Shamu almost seemed like he wanted to solo Uber through the choke, and the medicals are like, I don't know about that, dude. Now they sent Speedy through as kind of a solo bomb sack to try to get a pop out of 404. That doesn't quite work out. And kind of push in here from Showstopper. He's gonna get taken out.
And I think 100B is a lot more comfortable playing this like really slow game because A, they have mid already, so they're kind of winning the momentum of the round, but also they won the first map, so they just feel like eventually RGL is gonna, you know, maybe go for a counter stop while someone else on their team peeks forward, give it 2 picks, or maybe one of these forces will actually work on Mirrorman. And you just feel like RGL is a little more. It's weird. You feel like they're a little more nervous. They're simultaneously more desperate to do something, but also more nervous about doing something. And I just don't get a good vibe from it, man.
Yeah, there's that thing. You got to play to win. You can't play not to lose, right? Like you actually have to take advantages, take points, move forward. Right now, Speedy getting cleaned up on Riverside.
Alpha's taking a spy fight in River.
Yeah. A wacky fight for Alpha for sure. He's so close to spawn. He's probably going to be able to go back and change classes. Ash has gone down as well, with actually Mirrorman getting a frag on bot mode. It's going to feed into his ego a little bit. Alpha getting the kill on Showstopper King as well. So 3 players down. Plenty of opportunity for them to get forward here. They are going to go through choke. And Jay pushing right back into him. Ubercharge is out here. Mirrorman will pop it in time. Yite has gone down. So this is better for RGL for sure.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird play by 100B, honestly. They sent 2 players behind and sent their combo in, but they overstayed their welcome. Their combo died, and they didn't have enough people there because of all the players behind. That coupled with Yite, losing 1v1 to the spy, which was a bit goofy, but yeah, so I guess I was totally wrong again, Caster's Curse, because I thought RGL would eventually find a way to mess that up, but in reality it was 100B that made a mistake. You don't get the sense that they were like, nervous or not sure what to do, though. They just, tried something unique to break the hold, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and I mean, RGL, a little bit of momentum, but they still just kind of have to keep rolling forward off of that. They're going to switch Kev over to a sniper. Pretty common tactic. We saw that out of Yite earlier.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if he can make something happen. This is Cheater Kev we're talking about. Bit of a legend. He's taking it really slow, just, using that angle into choke, now moving big door. You'd like to see their combo move in, maybe try to bait out a trade from the other team. And I think 100B is a lot more likely to respond to the sniper with like a literal Uber trade and everyone in big door. I wouldn't be at all surprised if that happened. I like what Speedy's done here, as he's managed to move himself into a kind of a close position in case anyone rushes the sniper.
Yeah, and 404 just tucked away here on the corner, very close into big door here.
Yeah, this is generally the best place to stand against the sniper. Obviously, it does leave you vulnerable to certain soldier sacks, but you kind of need to be close enough to big door to heal your players, trying to stuff them while also being around the corner from the sniper. So it's kind of a risk you have to take, but it does enable soldier sacks if you want to go for that. As Speedy actually managed to make his way behind, if he gets a clean bomb in, this is actually really good for him because, like we said, 404 is in such a... But actually, 404 runs to choke knowing that. Very smart player. Does he know where Kev is? It's a bit of a cat and mouse game, kind of waiting on Speedy and to see if he can get a good bomb off, but he's being watched by a lot of players.
Yeah, very closely. He's not sure where to go, but 100 Beasts are just going to push into him now. Showstopper. Oh, and actually, Yite, both of them getting destroyed by Speedy here. He's going to get the health pack in lower lobby, so he's doing fine. He almost should have just pushed out a shutter there. Kev trying to come around here, get a look at players. Alpha going down over on choke site. We'll see if 100 Beasts do want to push through here. They send in their scout and their soldier. They have popped the Uber charge here. Are able to pick off Speedy. Mirrorman has used as well. Maybe not in the best position. One of the soldiers for 100 Beasts going further behind. The rest of them backing up.
Yeah, and Mirrorman showing a bit of his inexperience by trying to save a player and falling off of the point, which kept them from being able to chase with their better Uber.
Ooh.
And then just huge bullying. Yeah, 100B just saying, you know what, screw it. They have the sniper. We have more firepower. Let's just bomb in. And then they just wipe everyone. I do not think that RGL was ready for that.
Oh!
Nice shot by Ash, too.
Yeah, great cleanup on RGL. And they've done a great job in this map so far. 10 minutes down. And 0-0 the score. But that is really where you start to feel like, okay, maybe this momentum is going to go the way of the Beast.
Yeah, it just felt a little weird when Speedy got those picks in River, and the reaction of RGL was to send Alpha in for a sack instead of actually moving in as a team. Again, it feels like 100B has this much better sense of let's just blob and go in as like 4 or 5 players in a dry push, and I feel like RGL just so rarely does that, and it actually means that their numbers advantages just bleed away. Like, they'll be in a 6v4 and they'll just sack to turn it into a 4v4 instead of just pushing. As we see a full Uber advantage push coming in, the gun going down quickly, the other team goes to the spawn, Jay gets on point, this is textbook. I don't think they'll be able to hold this, and yeah, very easy.
No, not at all. Yeah, very clean push in there. As you get the Uber charge, just take over the point, scout on it, and shove everybody back.
As I think I'm going to watch bot mode on this mid, just because I want to see what RGL is doing to make his life difficult. Because if you don't make a demo's life difficult on this mid fight, it's just kind of over for you. As he's getting good early damage on the soldiers. Both soldiers are high bombing, but they're not landing directly, which is fine. Alpha actually is. Okay, I don't like this at all. I'll talk about that later next time. But yeah, this is just going to be a very free win for 100B as they demolish them.
Yeah, Speedy getting in here, he gets cleaned up as well. Yeah, I didn't really like those bombs either.
I like the double high bomb in theory, but I feel like you either have to have both soldiers full commit or both soldiers not commit, but instead Alpha lands straight in and Speedy just curves away and lands on his own side, which gives him a free pick.
Yeah, as well as Alpha landing all the way across, but there's just the scout, you know, on the ground. Like, there's no other players there. You know, so it's like he didn't like bomb into the demo and splash, you know, so yeah, it didn't really work out.
As we see a very quick Uber in through Shutter. They're not getting a lot of picks, but they are going to probably be able to go for it. They're going to get Speedy here, and Alpha, actually. I don't know how Alpha died, but this should mean that they should probably win this eventually. The medic is going to go down to Campy, but I'm not sure if they can hold everything here.
It's actually pretty good work from Kev, because he gets a 2K there. Bamo, though, is getting frags. They're going to get the point. 2-0 to the 100 piece.
Beautiful from Bot Mode. He's playing very well tonight. And also, I mean, yes, Bot Mode is playing really well, but my earlier point was going to be, we watched him on mid, and he just didn't feel uncomfortable at all. There was no scout really pressuring him. The soldiers didn't land anywhere near him. He's not getting bullied at all, and I'd really like to see them put more pressure on bot mode. It just seems a little too free for him right now.
Yeah, certainly. He's a big component of the Beast. Right now, Showstopper pretty banged up on the ground. He's going to get cleaned up from Kev. The slower play from the RGL soldiers, although both of them not necessarily too healthy. Alpha going down on the ground, Speedy pushing forward. We'll be able to get the kill on bot mode, which is nice. Mirror Man gets a frag on Ash. This is better for Jail, as they will get it, but 404 getting out with the supercharge.
Yeah, I think if you're not going to do like really aggressive plays from your soldiers on mid, the best thing you can do is what RatJail did there, which is have your soldiers try to find a 2-on-1 on the ground against the other soldiers, and they were able to do so against Showstopper. And that just set up an eventual mid win where they just kept trading 1-for-1 with already having a number advantage. So I don't like that quite as much as just an all-out aggressive mid off of your demo's damage with soldiers, you know, bombing into them, but it did happen to work out that time. We are in a bit of a lull state again, a stalemate. Let's see if RatJail can be a little more creative in how they break this.
Yeah, RatJail trying to do what they can from big door. Ash kind of watching from that little baby door shutter. Shamu will get inside. Other players continuing to work forward. Ash switches to upper.
Showstopper's trying to do something a little cheeky at choke. You do always like to see, it's not always the most exciting if nothing happens, but sometimes these weird little one-on-one choke battles while the combos rotating big door can make a difference depending on who breaks through it. But I guess it's not quite as interesting as what's going on in big door as we see Alpha trying to run behind. Let's see if he can do anything. Ash is kind of tagging him by watching River. Might be difficult for him to make anything happen.
Yeah, we'll see here. Alpha very far, you know, kind of past enemy lines, but just kind of tucked away, not able to get any information or make an impact at this point. Just hiding.
Yeah, and I don't begrudge him waiting just a little bit, but you would like to see the rest of his team, you know, using that, hoping they could do something. I don't know exactly what their plan is. They forced the other team kind of far back, but they're not really pressuring choke or big door. I don't know what they expect Alpha to accomplish while they're doing this, but he actually, you see, that's about the best that Alpha could do. He got a clean bomb and he hit his first rocket with a direct, and he still wasn't able to do anything. I mean, you're not going to be able to make a play happen when like everyone knows where you're coming. I really wish that they would do something else other than these single soldier bombs. Like, I don't think Alpha played that wrong at all. I just wish the rest of the team would do something.
Yeah, no, for sure. Kev's back there now. He's in that kind of behind obnoxious position. They also do have Alpha on the sniper, trying some off-classing to get things done here. We'll see if they can find something with it.
I guess if you think of that Alpha bomb as just a sack for a sniper, it makes more sense, but I do think they should have done more with him being stuck behind in river, or being behind in river, which could be advantageous, but we see him working in through big door. Alpha is a really good sniper, but being down a soldier holding this is kind of difficult, but he does manage to take down Ash. Let's see what they're going to do off this. Are they going to take a trade? Are they going to sack? Are they just going to walk Alpha in really far? There are a lot of options here now that you have that pick. I like to see what they do. They do send Kev behind. I think they're going to wait until Kev draws some eyes, maybe wins a 1v1, and then move Alpha in. Kev does win a 1v1.
Yeah, takes that health pack as well. Going for another frag. Does get the kill on Jay. The exchange happening on the ground while Kev is taunting. Fight's going on, and Ash is going to come in here. Will he get the karmic retribution? He does. That's what you deserve for taunting while fights are going on. Sorry, it's TF2. Gotta pay attention to get the win.
Yeah, but that was a really good overall play so far by RGL, but they let Campy die. I don't understand how that happened. They were winning that so well, and then at the very end, they just assumed they won it and got too split up.
Yeah.
They did get the point, so they're going to get better spawns, so this isn't the end of the world, but they have a sniper caught in behind the rock.
Oh!
But he hits the demo. Nice shot by Alpha.
Yeah, he gets a close range shot on Yite as well. Yite survives it, although goes down to Kev now. Mirrorman, he's the one trapped behind rock now. Misses the arrow on Shamu, but he's going to be able to just focus him on beam. 4-4 has gone down to Kev. The frags are going to continue here. RGL unlocking their new potential here.
That was incredible play by Alpha. He stayed alive for so long, hitting body shots, and that really distracted the other team, and then Kev just runs in and cleans up 2 players. That was actually all down to Alpha on Sniper there, just living forever. They just, for some reason, they just couldn't kill that Sniper. You see an Uber coming in. Campy's getting juggled, though. This isn't quite as good an Uber as you would want, but I think they might still be able to...
Oh. Yeah, it was pretty... There was some decent moments there with Shamu getting Ubered, and the way that the flash is right now, desperation here. Alpha on the pyro, trying to run around the corner. Ash has got the kill on him. Zayler's there as well. Zayler's got to get the damage. Ash thrown up in the air, juggled off the point. RGL on the board for the first time tonight.
Yeah, I felt like RGL played that last push about as poorly as they could, but they had such a big advantage that they ended up winning it in the end anyways. Sorry, I sound a bit like a sour old man at TF2, but
yeah, I always look for the silver lining, you know.
But we do see RGL actually doing a different rollout. This time Campy's going on the ground. Are they going to try to do an aggro mid up top right? It seems like Alpha's bombing in.
Yeah, that was the call. Speedy getting around into elbow, a little bit slow on it.
Yep.
Will get just closed into by Yite and Jay. Showstopper has gone down for the Beast, but they're getting frags here. Mirrorman has escaped with Shamu.
I'm going to be honest, next time I was pretty sure that mid was going to go very poorly for RGL, but I didn't want to say so and then be incredibly wrong, so I was going to wait. But
just got to throw yourself out there, man, and that's what they were trying to do, but, you know, it didn't quite work.
I just really don't like the way Speedy played that. Like, I feel like if you're going to go for a mid bat, like aggressive up the right side, you need the double bomb. You can't have one soldier bomb and the other one dilly-dally on the floor, go for a flank.
Yeah, like he bombed around to elbow and it was just too late. Like the medic wasn't there, you know, like he already missed that jump if that's what he was going for.
And while he was doing that, Alpha was already dead and the rest of the team was just staring at the scouts and demo trying to run up instead of, like, you need both soldiers to actually make a distraction for them.
Yeah.
The silver lining, obviously, is that Mirrorman did get out, so this will be an even Uber, as Showstopper's actually on Spy with the Cloak and Dagger, slowly working his way in. Let's see if he's more of, like, a Corsa level Spy or a, I don't know, insert many of the really, really depressingly bad Spies that we see in TF2 matches.
He bumped into Kev. Okay, yeah, it's for a second there, like, it seemed like Kev didn't really realize it, but no, he does turn around and it's like, oh yeah, that was a Spy. So they get Showstopper cleaned up, no problem there. Mirror even throws out the Lamau at him.
Yeah, and it's going to be, yeah, they just said the solo sack. It is pretty tough to do much with that. I might have liked to see them, you know, look for another pick at lobby, but ultimately, not that much they could do. And we see Yite going, this is the classic double sack where you send your scout on the point.
He's fighting Alpha right now, does get the kill on him. He takes out both the stickies. As the soldier comes in, it gets cleared out. They did lose a couple other players, Ash at the same time.
Yeah, that would have been a normal two-man sack, but I think Jay was trying to peek to like support them, and Campy hit him with a trap or a pipe or something. But it's really good work by Campy overall. Apologies for the fact that his name is Zaylor in game, but I played with him when his name was Campy, so that's just it's force of habit. But
old habits die hard.
Really good hold by Campy, and yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna be able to happen. It's still cookie cutter for 100B, so I think they're probably just gonna try to run it back with the double sack.
Did Mirrorman just uses Ubercharge though? So
I did not see how that happened. Did he right click by accident?
He might have.
If not, then I'm baffled because I somehow completely missed that.
Yeah, I just looked over and all of a sudden I saw like 5% dwindling all the way down. And they get the kill on Showstopper. Yeah, the Beast like seemed to assume that they had Ubercharge looking for that sack, so he might actually end up, working out. That's not really a big problem. They're expecting the counter push, and they're gonna at least sort of fake it.
I think the only thing more confusing than Mirrorman using that Uber is 100B somehow not seeing that. I mean, it's not like he's like around the corner when they're holding mid. It's right at last in front of them. I need a moment next time.
RGL are going to rotate out. They get the Ubercharge again, so weird stuff for sure there, but they have recovered.
Yeah, and, I guess if both teams mess up equally, it's still benefiting 100B because they're winning, so RGL needs to try to not have their medic right-click on accident would be my advice to them. So yeah, let's see what 100B can do with this. Again, still cookie cutter, which I understand on this map because the double sack can be so good. They're trying to make something happen with Ash spamming Shutter. The Pyro can be a bit of a counter to this, but they don't have a gun to help out. Usually, the Sentry Pyro combo is really good on this last at denying sacks. You just can't do anything. The gun can, if you put the gun in an open spot, it can watch everything. And then usually the downside is it's really spammable, but you just have the Pyro guarding the Sentry. And Bomb mode goes down to Kev. I really want to see RGL actually make something happen off this demo pick. Find a doorway that's not being spammed. They get Yite. This is the best opening they're gonna get. They really have to make something happen off of this.
Yeah, and they're surging a few players in through River. Really, Mirrorman, Alpha, Kev's there as well. Alpha pushing the most far forward, trying to get on top of Ash. They are going to get the exchange here. 4-4 is going to get trapped in the corner. He does have to use here, but Mirrorman backing up here. What player was it? That was Ash get taken out, pushing into Mirrorman. Shamu going down as well. Didn't quite see where that frag happened.
I'm very confused as to why they didn't have a scout with them up top. I mean, they had so many numbers, but they said just Alpha and the medic. That seemed like a big mistake to me as we see some sort of sack trying to come in. They do counter it well with Kev, getting 3 kills, and he gets the medic. Huge play by Kev.
Yeah, it seemed like kind of a dry push attempt, but Kev just completely shutting that down as that attempt to come out did not work out. RGL continue to just stay in this. And Jay gets taken out in wood. Showstopper lurking behind point. Alpha thinks he's there. We'll see him eventually. Showstopper getting out through River.
Yeah, this should eventually be fine for RGL. I would describe that push from 100B as disrespectful. That was a sort of a we have better player advantage push, But it didn't work out on the moment. You see RGL trying to work their way into mid off of this numbers advantage. They do get through choke pretty cleanly, but are they going to be able to bully their way out? It looks like they will, and they have Uber ad, and they're trying to push quickly into big door. Showstopper actually forces the Uber as sniper, but Speedy gets a really good bomb on the medic. This is a very good Uber. Good job.
Nice fight by Speedy. Yeah, even gets the pack up there, which doesn't save his life, but hopefully can help his teammates win the fight afterwards. Ash doing a lot of damage behind though, gets Zaylor, and now bombs in from Showstopper in bot mode. They've gotten several kills, including Mirrorman. It's just Alpha and Shamu. Shamu extremely weak. Alpha will come in for the kill on Showstopper. Spamming that rocket from choke side. It's just him over there though.
Yeah, again, I just don't understand when they pick the other team's medic why RGL is so split. They had both scouts with the medic, which is very good, but they didn't have Alpha or Campy with them. They didn't have any heavy classes, and it just took too long for them to kill all the people just honing in on their medic. So the advantage that Speedy created went away pretty quickly. When you have that type of situation where you have even numbers, they have no medic, but you have but they do have more fragging classes because you trade a soldier for the medic. You have to group up together and like use the like at least everyone being together to make up for the numbers, because a medic can't out heal the damage of like 5 people at once, and it just RGL just needs to like be willing to take more heals, even if you're like a roamer or the flank scout or the demo in that situation.
Certainly, we'll have to see what they can get done here. Again, they have the midpoint advantage. Down 2-1 though, lost the first map of this BO3.
They definitely do look better. It's good that they haven't tilted off the face of the earth. They're probably telling themselves, you know, we got dealt a bad hand with our roster issues, but you know, we can't control that. All we can do is just play our best, win or lose, and that's the kind of attitude you like to see, because they definitely look a lot calmer. Even though they're not playing perfectly, they definitely look like they're not like desperately trying to force everything to try to come back into it, and they're not embarrassing themselves. They're playing fine. They do lose both. They do lose 2 players though, so, and the force does come out. So, really good work by 100B managing to hold that. And I don't understand. I kind of missed how they lost both players. I saw that one of them went for the sack, that Kev did, I believe, but then they lost one of their soldiers as well. And Kev's now stuck on sniper trying to hold mid, but he's gonna get taken down. This is a bit disjointed, and just as I complimented them for having poise, they end up kind of throwing this away a little bit. I'm not even really sure. I'm not sure how they're going to force out the other team's Uber even. It looks like they're not.
Yeah, odd stuff there, because 404 was kind of stuck awkwardly on mid. Right now, though, him and Jay are pushing super aggro. They actually just want to go all the way in. Bot going for Mirror Man, who was in spawn. They haven't gotten second yet. They're just going for the lockdown on spawn right now. They do have to back up a bit, though. The heavy weapons guys got him a little bit shook. Not going to be able to just get in there.
Yeah, and again, if they had managed to get the medic, that would have been worth it, but it actually didn't really work out because spawns are so fast on Gully Wash last that pretty much by the time they finished capping second, all of RGL was back up. This is one map where it's actually pretty hard to do that whole, we forced them back to spawn, but we haven't kept second yet, so we could just like sort of take positioning because of those spawns. And we do have an Uber advantage from Mirrorman, but it's not as big as they think it is because they're taking so long. I think they realized that and they're going back to last. So yeah, we just have another last hold. And although that push didn't win them the round, ultimately it did get them in a pretty commanding situation pushing last.
We'll see how they choose to do it. You know, River just such a favored push for a lot of teams.
Yeah, and this is the situation I'm talking about where Kev was able to get up this particular gun spot that just can watch pretty much everything. I like it a lot better with a pyro though, actually, because then you can't do what Ash is doing right now, for instance. And yeah, the gun pyro combo, I'm telling you, undefeated on Gully Wash, man.
No, certainly. Pyro can be really effective on shutting down those river pushes, just stuffing them completely. Showstopper going in for the bomb here. Doesn't really find the opening rocket, though. Ash trying to pressure from Shutter at the same time. I like the crossfire, but not quite able to accomplish much there.
Yeah, as we see the gun being moved, I don't understand why Kev is going for that. His gun was in a perfectly fine spot. I guess because he didn't want to play medic or play that anymore, but then really good timed bomb by Ash, seeing an opening where people weren't expecting him to go and just gets a solo force onto Mirror Man. 404, not Froyotech, sorry. Gets forced in the meantime. Are they going to try to do something off this one number advantage? It's going to be tough to see.
Yeah, it's just a minute left on this half as well, we should point out. So RGL definitely just trying to hang in here a little bit longer. If they do get an advantage, they're not going to push out. It would seem likely. Yai trying to win a fight here on the ground versus Shamu. Shamu waiting for an arrow, does get it now. 30 seconds on the clock. So 100B's just going to reform a little bit for one final push here.
Yeah, and obviously RGL is aware of this, so they're going to, you know, hopefully guard the point by all means necessary, by any means necessary. And let's see how 100B plans to crack this when the team knows that they're coming. It's not going to be easy, and you'd have to think it's more likely that they're going to hold on to this.
Ash with a big bomb over the top here. Does get the kill on Kev. Taylor has gone down as well. Just a couple seconds left. Players on the point, though. The Uber charge is there, so they will stall it out into halftime. RGL down 2-1 with their best performance so far tonight.
Yeah, and it's good that they managed to hold on to only 2-1, because obviously that's much easier to come back from. But it did feel like after they held on for so long, RGL did, that the momentum was starting to go back to 100B. So you hope that RGL can come out and actually win the first mid. I think psychologically that's going to be very important for them, because it did feel like over time 100B was starting to impose their will again on the match more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll have to see how it goes into the second half. If 100B can just kind of speed things up here, get things towards a tempo more similar to what happened in process, or if they're just gonna, if the Rat Jail can keep up this contest with what's going on, definitely closer in the frag category.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now, Eckstein, and the two things that jump out to me the most. First of all, Campy having an enormous game, top damaging the server
by far.
17-7, second fewest deaths next to the medic, taking way fewer damage than bot mode. Just, you really see the power of a player like Campy, who's just, his positioning is so on point. You watch him play sometimes and it's honestly kind of boring because his main thing is that he just doesn't make mistakes, He's not going to over-aggress. He's just going to play solidly and just put out his damage over time, and he really does a great job of that. The other thing that stands out to me, though, even though the stats are pretty close, I mean, blue team, Campy's team, Rat Jail, actually has more damage and more kills than 100B, but 100B has more mid-fight wins. We're ending up in a lot of situations where 100B is winning the open part of the fight, the mid-fight's just sort of the more processy parts of the fight. And then, maybe they're losing more people because they're failing some, they're failing some pushes, they're failing some sacrifices, they're failing some last pushes, but at the end of the day, they're holding on to their points and they're just coming back. And I think, that can happen on a map like Gully Wash where, maybe a couple more of your players are dying because you're the one trying to make something happen, but you're not ending up losing mid. You're always in the driver's seat of the round. And
yeah.
That's why I really think, honestly, I need to see Alpha and Speedy coordinate better on these mid fights. I said that at the beginning of the match, and it's just, if they can have some good bombs to make space for their team to aggress, to put a little bit more pressure on bot mode, who seem really free to farm damage on mid, I feel like that would just help so much, because I feel like Ratchel's playing pretty well in the rest of the map, but they're just losing all these mid fights.
Yeah, and it seems like Kev and Shamu are starting to tighten things up a little bit. Both players having a better KDA this map. 20 and 12 for Kev, while Shamu 15 and 12. And that's one of those things as well, where it's just kind of the whole formula. If bot mode is taken down, you can't get those stickies and those pipes out. Even though the scouts are sort of the counter to bot mode, if he's just out there slanging away, it's a whole team formula. They need to make sure that Kev and Shamu are staying tight and are able to capitalize off of Zayler's damage and support the team as a whole after Alpha and Speedy bomb in. If they bomb in, they get results, they get frags, there's still a mid fight after that.
And yeah, one important thing to note is all 4 scouts in this game are the 4 bottom damagers, which is to be expected when you have a Gully Watch match that's this slow, that has this many Ubers in play, because it's really hard for scouts to do much in this game unless you have more open non-Uber fights, mid fights, dry pushes. If it's just both teams sitting there with Uber, a scout is pretty much the least useful class you can have. So, but that plays in Rat Jail's favor, because as I said, I think the biggest advantage 100B has is that Jay and Yite are just such monster DMers. If they can keep them from having the space to pop off, that's about the best you can get. So I think in terms of keeping the star players from 100B just rolling over them, Rat Jail is doing a really good job. They're just not imposing their will on mids. Like I said, I hate to sound like a broken record, but if they can just do that, they're already playing well in the rest of the map. Yeah, definitely better showing than Process. Process is a map where you can't really hide. You can't hide the skill check. You have to take these really aggressive fights on Process. But on Gully Wash, you could sort of play it a bit slower and just rely on your positioning, on your teamwork, on your heavy classes. So yeah, I hope this starts soon and we can see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. This is the second map, second half of it coming up, and Rat Jail, future is still open for him. This is just the first round of the upper bracket, so double a limb here. Things just getting started. Again, this is a replacement for the season 2 LAN. Unfortunately, couldn't get underway in New Jersey due to this whole COVID-19 thing, but we're getting underway here now. Second half. See if Rat Jail can string together a map win here, just down 1 round as this half gets underway.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see both teams coming to mid. It looks like I just happen to be my eyes on Showstopper as he's sort of waddling underneath, taking a little fight with Alpha. Not so much happening. Maybe I picked the wrong player to focus on, but it looks like we're finally seeing a nice mid from Rat Jail where they're getting across mid. They just didn't get pressured out, and looks like they're going to win this event eventually, although they are going to have to take it a little slower. Their health is really bad, but I think it'll be all right. Can't be barely live.
Yeah, he gets an arrow there. Nice plays from Kev to start that off. He ends up going down eventually, but still a nice start to the mid-fight from him.
Yeah, as I'm just using my handy-dandy console trick, and I see that Kev was the one who took down 404 there, so I think just a good team push across the point from RGL. They weren't able to be slowed down as easily this time. They were the first team to take initiative, so it's good to see them start this half with a bang. They're walking through Choke for free, which I like. They're trying to bully out. Both soldiers are bombing, but...
Oh, Mirror Man stuck in the corner awkwardly as Showstopper comes flying in. Does have to use the Uber charge. Not ideal, but at least got it off and does survive. The way that this last goes as well, they might just be able to post up and build a whole charge.
If I were to nitpick super hard, I would say that I'm not sure Mirror Man needed to use there because his team killed it. It killed Showstopper before he had got another rocket off. So if he wanted to trust his reaction time for his 34 ping, he could have milked it. But it is understandable. He doesn't want to drop in the pivotal situation like this. And let's see if they can actually withstand this rest of this Uber. It feels like they're dropping players too quickly. Jay is, oh my God, it's a slaughter. Call the cops.
Yeah, Jay's just going nuts there. Ugh, everybody's wiped out. 100 Beast going to be able to get second. They're going to be able to get mid here.
Alpha did salvage a little bit by taking out 404, but they're already spawn camping at the next spawn. It's a bit rough.
Yeah, Mirror Man takes a rocket, backs up. And Shamu going down, Kev down. More players surging out here. Alpha will come up on the Pyro to help get them out here.
That was very clutch from bot mode. He was stuck in a 1v1 with Kev, and he just sinks the sticky pipe at the end. But yeah, I feel like, RGL played that fine at first. Like, yeah, they got forced, but they got second. They just need to play in a smart position and force out the other team and back up. But they lost too many people forcing the Uber, and then that left their demo medics suddenly exposed because they thought they were safe. But as soon as they were down that many people, they weren't. Jay takes the Uber just unreasonably deep, and they just wipe the entire enemy team. So really quick swing. This can happen on Gully Wash, such a compact map. You can have these like massive 3-point swings really quickly, and now we see 100B back at the driver's seat yet again, and let's see if RGL just gets pinned to last for the rest of the round.
Yeah, Ash tucked away in secret here. We'll see if he can come out at some point and make a play with some impact. At level 2 sentry gun above him, and the rest of RGL pretty far back. 100 Beast pretty far back. Alpha sniping from the side. Showstopper trying a nice little skip jump in there.
I think the best thing Ash can do here maybe is, too late with bot mode dead, but I was going to say have a scout run in water and then shoot the soldier in the back on the point, but let's see what he can do here because it is an opportunity if the other team leaves last, but there also is a sentry, so I don't think he's going to be capping last. As we see an Uber trade coming from Shamu, this is a much better Uber for 404 though. Is he going to be able to catch out? I mean, Shamu's pretty much dead here, but if Mirrorman makes it out, it's not the end of the world. And this seems pretty fine. I think RGL's just going to go back to last. But do they know about Ash?
Yeah, that is the question. It is a decent time for him possibly to get involved here.
Yeah, the sentry's gone.
He's thinking about creeping forward, and 100 Beasts are kind of, again, trying to make some action happen here to support Ash down low. Ash now will find a soldier. Scout, Kev. 2 players down, though. They're surging in Showstopper here as well. But Speedy jumping over the top gets the kill here. Bot mode still fighting. Sticky's out. It's a 2-on-2 bot mode. Speedy, though, getting the better of this bot mode, shoved back. They're going to retreat. Nicely played by Speedy.
I hate to say it, there was a little bit of DM beef there from Ash. I feel like they would have won that if he hadn't, because the one thing I'll give 100B credit for, they really committed to the bit. They said, we're going for the point, and nothing is going to stop us, and they just kept sending wave after wave, zerging for the point. If Ash had hit a couple more meaty directs from Secret, I think they would have won that, but nice attempt by 100B. I actually really like the idea of using that soldier in Secret to push for point, shoot people in the back. And we're back in a standard situation now. We do have Alpha on Spy, and he has come out of spawn. He's being bumped into, but it seems like no one's seen him.
Alpha's certainly notorious for these last hold attempts on Spy. Going for 404, cleaned up, though. Easy stuff. RGL down 2. Yite will be respawning here.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see 100B try to take out the gun, and then maybe... I was going to say make an effort for point, but they have lost players, and the respawns aren't coming back up for RGL, so I think maybe this will even out a little bit more. As actually we see a force come off. I did not see how that happened.
Yeah, me either, and he was pretty healthy at the end of that, so kind of spooked from Mirror Man. And maybe the invite playoff nerves getting to him a little bit. Showstopper taken out in lobby, but he was just lurking behind while the rest of the team pushing forward. Bot mode on the point. He's fragging hard, thrown up in the air, gets on the circle. It's actually Jay finishing the cap. 3-1 now in favor of 100 Beasts.
Yeah, I guess it was a blunder from Mirrorman, or maybe a really good force by someone that I missed, but I felt like his players were healthy enough to not have to. As we actually see bot mode this time going for the big door rollout. I'm also very impressed with 100B committing afterwards, getting a lot of cap time and just having bot mode just doing so much damage. They really seem to be well coordinated. As actually, both teams go for the big door rollout, so we actually have a mirror again. So this is kind of back to a normal mid.
Yeah, Speedy's jumping, gets shut down, but Kev with a nice frag on bot mode, going for 404. 404 trying for a saw, he gets the health pack and choke. And meanwhile, RGL getting decimated here. Alpha fighting on the side will kill Yite. It's just Jay and 404, but Jay getting the kill on Shamu there. Alpha also not finding success with his bomb in.
Yeah, that mid got really scrappy, but the constant was Jay and 404. They just backed up so far. Jay got all the heals, and he just slowly cleaned up these players going for 404. And actually, paradoxically, even though 404 lived, I think that RGL would have had a better chance if they didn't focus in as hard and just killed the people who were like actually still in the fight more quickly. But they got a little tunnel on 404. He lived nonetheless, and now there's a full Uber advantage for 100B, who are going to get second really easily. And I have to remind myself it was a 2-1, not 3-1 half, so if they win this round, it won't be over yet, but they do have a very good chance to just win early. They're going straight through the lower choke ends of last. Lower main. They're taking down the gun. There is a pyro they have to contend with, but Bombo goes down. I think this might actually be a hold. It's getting close.
Yeah, extremely close here. Good defense by a lot of players, but it's just Kev now. It's going to be too much for him to overcome. Oh, now 4-1. 100 Beasts a round away from taking this upper bracket matchup up against RGL.
That was actually a huge bomb from Showstopper. It looked like they were maybe going to lose that last. Going through lower main when there's already a Sentry and a Pyro is not easy, but Showstopper just coming in while everyone's eyes are turning, getting a double direct. Beautiful play. As I'm actually watching bot mode on this mid, he seems pretty free again. Neither soldier is super committing, but Speedy actually does go in and get Jay.
Oh my god, Mirrorman threw him super high. Ash coming in will splash him down. 4-4 still alive. Zayler taken out. Alpha the only survivor here on the low ground.
Yeah, and I don't think Alpha's going to be able to do much. He's not super healthy. He's just going behind, but I think he's going to run into respawns, and I don't think this is going to work out for him.
Yeah, that's what.
He does actually win a 1v1?
One of those ones too where you sort of wonder if you just got confused over on which side he was on, because you don't really want to be this far behind. He gets cleaned up by Yite, and eventually 100 Beasts here is just going to push in a second easy. They have it taken care of.
Yeah, and I just think, maybe I'm biased given the class that I made, but I think RGL is focusing 404 too much on these mids instead of bot mode. Bot mode isn't even waiting for his medic to come up because he knows that he's not going to be pressured since they're all focusing 404. So he's just walking across the point, and while everyone's staring at 404 on the ground, he just does huge amount of damage. As we have the Uber coming, they're getting juggled by the Pyro though. They just get the gun now, so this is holdable. They're getting some really good cap time though with the ×4. It's getting very, very close, and I think 100B is going to be able to take this.
Yeah, nice kill on Mirrorman and Zayler. Two players for combat up for both sides. But the heals making a bit of a difference. Speedy gun down, and there we go. 3-0 in the second half, bringing us to a 5-1 total in the second map. RGL just getting one round on the night, and 100B moving forward in this playoff bracket.
Yeah, and I think those last pushes are a microcosm, a synecdoche, if you will, synecdoche, whatever, of the reason why 100B seems like such a good team. It's a very simple concept, right? You take down the sentry, you bring heals and a couple players to point, your demo stickies off, and then your soldiers bomb the ring, right? Or bomb the players coming out of spawn. It sounds simple, but just their execution, they all seem to be on the same page. They seem really selfless. Like, they know some of them are going to die when they all just like collapse in like that, but they know that someone is going to be the guy who gets the 3K or the 4K on that play. And I really like the way 100B's playing these situations. It seems like they're all like 100% comfortable with any of them being the guy who gets all the kills, as long as they like all go in at the same time. You know, none of them are like, I want to be the guy to always be the cleanup or always be the the bait. You know, they switch it up. You know, sometimes Ash will feed in first, sometimes it'll be Showstopper, sometimes Yite will go in first, sometimes he'll come in last and clean up. I have to be honest, they're just playing like it's a simple concept, but it's teamwork. You know, they have really good teamwork.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work, as the saying goes, Mustard.
Mm-hmm. And I think we see why 100B only had one loss, 2 losses this season? It was basically them and Froyo were neck and neck.
Froyo. I think they split the series with Froyo, but otherwise we're undefeated.
Yeah, and you know, obviously I would still favor Froyo against them, but with some of Froyo's own roster dynamics and the cohesion that this team has, an upset is not impossible. The season 20, was it with the original 20B coming through and upsetting Froyo? Maybe he can repeat itself.
Something like that. Well, any final words, Mustard, before I say one final thing about Froyo Tech?
Stay safe, social distance, wash your hands, vote for Bernie. I don't know.
Exactly. That sounds good to me. Thank you, friend. Thank you, Dolphin, for running production. Thank you to our fantastic crowd. I want to wrap up, though, and send you guys over to Team Fortress TV, because right now we are in the second map of Froyo Tech versus Ford Gaming. Ford Gaming did get some rounds off the first map, Goalie Wash. Right now, though, they did just drop a round to Froyo Tech, but they had the lead, so it's tied up 1-1. I'm sure we'll be hosting them, but please head over there to check out some more RGL.GG Season 2 invite playoff action. We'll be back with some more on this channel as this playoffs progresses. Thanks so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I am Eckstein. See you guys next time. Peace out.